Welcome back, lads and ladettes, to episode 93. We're well on our way to the mid-90s, and we're not slowing down. Got a lot of momentum behind us, and we're looking forward to keeping that going through the century mark.
It's crazy how fast this is going, honestly. Like, I think about when we started doing the pod again, we were in early 30s, I think, or late 20s of our episodes.
I think it was 32. I think it was 31 or 32 when we stopped. And it felt like before we had stopped, it felt like we were doing it forever.
Right. But like, I think at that point too, we had gotten to 2 episodes a week. So when you think about that, like we were at 1 episode a week and then we pushed it to 2 because we were like, yo, this is fun. Like, let's just do it. At that point too, it was easier for us to get together and like have all of us in the basement. And there was a lot going on in the world with like us playing hockey outside and still playing, you guys like playing junior hockey and going to school and all that shit. And then like we were all able to talk about things like on a good amount of like a good basis. And then so it kind of like inflates our numbers of like how long we've actually been doing this for. Cause like when you think about when we actually started this up again, we've just been doing 1 a week. So to get to 93 from 32, like it's been wild because that's a lot of episodes. That's 61 weeks worth of episodes. And we even skipped, I'm pretty sure we skipped 1 week where we both just were like really busy and like couldn't do it. And then actually, I think we skipped 1 again during Christmas. So we missed 2 weeks. So we're at like 65 weeks almost of doing this here and like working on the lads podcast. And it's like, it seems like it's like a long time, but it's honestly just flown by. It's wild.
Yeah, I mean, my dad always tells me that like the older you get, the shorter time feels.
Yeah, my dad says that too.
Yeah, maybe it's just a dad thing if your dad says it too. I don't know, but I like I'm kind of just starting to understand like a sliver of like what that like actually means, and just seeing like I remember just summer vacations, like breaking it down, throw it back in time a little bit, just summer vacations as a kid. That like what you ended in like June, right? That July and August, that 2 months of summer. It felt like a whole year in itself.
Yeah.
And now it's like 65 weeks later of doing like over a year of Lads and Lawn Chairs podcast. And that's felt like
2 full summers we've done in like a full school year you've mixed in there and everything. Like,
yeah. And it just feels like I like it was a couple of weeks ago that we reached out and we're like, okay, let's get this going again.
Yeah. It feels like it was legit just like yesterday that we were interviewing Duffy and Cabby and stuff. And they were like the first people that we had on when we started this thing back up.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's really weird. It's cool though. But like, it's also one thing that my dad even said this the other day, actually, was like, think about how long ago we graduated just like elementary school. It was 9 years ago.
I know, man. I was thinking about that this morning. That's actually crazy because I was reading one of that. We were preparing for this or that, and I was on like Reddit 2 seconds ago.
Yeah,
and one of the things was like, oh, would you rather be teleported back 5 years or whatever? Yeah, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, oh my god, like 5 years was like,
I don't know, 5 years would take you going into your grade 10 year. We'd be like going into grade 10 right now.
I know that doesn't feel like that long ago.
Yeah,
but it also feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. It's just weird because it's like I feel like you think about going from elementary school, you're like, oh my god, I have so much school left ahead of me, like 4 years of high school, minimum 4 years of university. Like, how is this going to go? And then like here I am sitting here right now thinking about 9 years ago I graduated from elementary school. Like I went through 4 years of high school, 4 years of university, and now I'm like a full year removed from university. If I was like going back to school, this would be like my 6th year of university. And like it's like, you know what I mean though? It's like it's just crazy to think about that. Like the fact that my final like step of education in my life is a year removed from me. Like I completed that over a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
It's just really weird. It's really
weird. You could always go back and get your master's if you were really missing the school that much.
I know. But it's just like weird to think like you're like undergraduate, like my undergrad done. Like I'm moved on from school. Like at this point, it's no longer like, oh, I have to go and do this. It's like, oh yeah, if I felt like doing this, I could go and do it. It's just weird thing to think about and sit here and just think about how quickly time has passed and how all the things like we've gone through.
Yeah, very nostalgic episode so far.
Seriously.
I got a question for you. Like, what do you say to the people who are like, oh, like high school is the best 4 years of your life? And I guess same thing with university. Do you truly believe that high school and or university? I'll let you make up your mind on how you feel about it.
Mhm.
But like either high school is the best 4 years, university is the best 4 years. None of them are. Like, what's your stance on that?
Um, I don't know. I think it's like probably such a cheesy way to like go about this or like a cheap way out, but like I think it just keeps getting better. Because honestly, I look back at high school and like I think we had a very unique high school experience to what other people would have had at our school. Like
Hmm.
I think that for us and the situation we got put in, like I met some of the best friends like I will have for the rest of my life, like from that school. Like you know, like I met you there in grade 9 and like here we are 8, 9 years later, whatever it
Yeah.
is, right? Like doing this podcast together. And it started with our friends from high school. And like last night I was out seeing a bunch of the guys who like were from high school as well. And it's like, cause those are the people that I've been friends with from that point on. But like our high school experience was very unique. I think it was a super, super fun time. Um, Learned a lot just like about myself and growing up and stuff. I think about going into high school. I was 4'10", 100 pounds, and like just grew physically, grew up like mentally as a person, like all that kind of stuff, which is very like cheesy or cliche to say, but it's true. Like you did and met amazing people and just had a absolute blast like playing sports and going to school and getting ready to move on. And then I was like, wow, high school was so much fun, whatever. Obviously not the kind of person to be like, oh, live in the glory days of like high school was so much fun, like
Yeah.
that's where I
Back in my
peaked,
varsity
whatever. But
lacrosse
like
days.
yeah, yeah, but like it's fun to reminisce on those stories and stuff. That being said, like once I went to university, it was like wow, like this is a whole another level of just like entertainment and fun like all the time. And yeah, it was difficult because you actually have to do school and you have to grow up and you move away from home and you start learning about all these things. But like it just gets better and better in different ways. Like high school was fun because it was like a summer camp for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When and
Camp
then
Brothers,
like
baby.
yeah, and then like you go to university and it's fun because you finally are learning like how to live on your own and like how to grow up and be an adult and buy food and go to the grocery store, how to cook for yourself, do your laundry all the time, maintain your schedules. Like I'm sure that a lot of people when they were in high school like had to figure shit out for themselves, but like at the same time your things are also just like handed to you basically in an agenda. Like I went to class every day, the same classes, same time. I went from the exact same routines down the hallways, whatever the case was. And it was like Monday through Friday, did the same shit. Went to hockey practice after, had games, tournaments, all that. And like everything was very scheduled. And then you go to university and it's like, figure it out. Like you got to do
Yeah.
this on your own.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to like see that progression of things. So long answer to your question. I think that everything just continues to get better as long as you have an open mindset and it just gets better in different ways.
Yeah.
Like high school
Wow.
was an absolute blast, but growing up and like doing all these things has been incredibly fun as well. Like
Yeah. I man,
there's not been a moment where I'm like, oh, that was worse than high school or whatever.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Wow. What an inspirational way to begin this episode. Talking about, yeah, wow.
It was just a long way to go around to that like quick answer there. But I
Eh,
just said as soon as I started thinking about it and like getting into it, I was like,
yeah.
this
But
is I don't know, this is kind of how I see it.
I think even for the people who had a shitty time in high school, like it's still like it's just it's like you said though, even if we had a pretty good time, like I wouldn't
Yeah.
call it the best 4 years of my life by any stretch.
No.
Um, like university on their other hand, I think I've had a better time at university than I have at high school. Like it's tough to compare the two because it's like comparing apples and oranges.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. It's tough. I think I like the like I don't know. I guess the more freedom and more I guess flexibility in the schedule. And
Yeah.
that being said, when I do graduate university and get a job, I'll probably miss it because I think that although university seems hard, at the end of the day, it's really not that difficult.
No, no. Yeah, I definitely miss it. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not even like, oh, I'm not ready for like real life. Like I mean, I still live at home, but that being said, like I still work Monday to Friday, like 10 hours a day and had to buy a car and like pay insurance and pay a phone bill, blah, blah, blah. And so like I have been like moving on and like actually starting life after school in many ways. But it's like also just university was so much fun. More because like, you know what I think the biggest part about it is, the one thing that you miss, and I think it's something that you'll really understand like once you move on, because you probably felt it after you stopped playing hockey, is what would you say like the biggest thing you missed from hockey was after you stopped playing hockey?
Not the game itself, probably just the boys, man, hanging out with the
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
It's
So
the
that's,
accessibility, I'd say. I think
yeah.
the fact that everything's, especially like a campus like Laurier, is just so small, and I
Mhm.
can walk from one end of the campus to the other end of the campus in probably like 7 minutes, maybe
Yeah.
less, 5 minutes. And on that 5 minute walks, going from Ezra Street to like University Avenue, where the
Yeah.
business building is, I'll see like 150 people along the way, like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I feel like the man. And it's like, but that's the same for everybody. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
it's a shared experience at that school. Is like you walk through, see 150 people, in that little short like one city block that the university is in, and it's like, oh my god, like, wow.
Well, you know what too, like I think about is just some of the experiences I had is like, which you don't get after, and you don't get when you're in high school, is like, which is just plays to the fact of like hanging around the boys, and like it's obviously transferable to girls as well, because I'm sure girls are going to feel it once they move out of their houses with their female roommates and stuff, is like, if I needed to go to the grocery store, or if I was going to the convenience store down the street, I'd be like, boys, I'm going to the convenience store, who wants to come? And like I lived in a house with like five or six, like five guys, and like three or four others, like everyone in the house would be like, yeah, I'll come. And we just like
Yeah.
walk to the convenience store. Like not everybody's even getting stuff. They're just like, yeah, I'll come because we're going there.
Yeah.
And
No,
like you just get everyone there and be like, yeah, let's go. Like everyone, you just do everything together. Whereas now, if I'm like, fuck, I have to go to Walmart to pick up body wash, it's
you're on your
like
own.
I'm going on my own, and I just
Yeah.
leave the house and come back. And it's like going to Walmart is no special experience. But like when you're doing it with all your friends and stuff, it's like you don't even
Always a good
realize it
time.
until after it's done, that it's like, oh yeah, that was enjoyable to do all the time, to just like go with my friends and do everything I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that it doesn't mean it has to end in university. I'm sure there are a lot of people who get like multiple roommates after university. Like,
Yeah.
let's say, for example, move to Toronto and live with like three other guys.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the same extent because everyone's busy with like their full-time job, and it's not like you can have the
It's just more limited time to do the
yeah, it's more
things.
limited time to do the things you normally did back at school. But
Mhm.
I feel like it's not impossible. But I know
Yeah.
what you mean, man. Like at school, I would always do the like I'd like wake up in the morning and be like, all right, guys, like I'm walking to Timmy's. Who wants to come? And like my whole house would be like, yeah, let's do it. And we just
Yeah.
like walk as a little unit, like up the street to grab our coffee. Just
Yeah.
there was one day where we like I'm like, yeah, I'm going for a walk. Who wants to come? And everyone's like, yeah, like let's just go. We didn't know where we were going. We ended up walking down to like Kitchener. It was like a 40-minute walk. Walked down to Kitchener, went to some like restaurant there. And then we like walked back we left at probably noon. We probably started walking home at like 4 p.m. So it just a whole day out of like nothing. And then on the way back, it's probably later than that actually, because on the way back, one of my roommates like pointed to like this bar we used to go to like prior to COVID or whatever. And this was back right when they were like kind of like opening things up for the first time.
Mhm.
So then he's like, oh man, what I wouldn't kill to like be able to go back to pub for whatever pub Thursdays or something like
Mhm.
that. And I think it was Wednesday at the time, but I'm like, oh, like why don't we go? Or like Reed said that, or one of our like other roommates is like, why don't we go? And then we kind of looked at each other like, well, I mean, like kind of this whole day's kind of just been like pulled out of thin air. Like, all
Yeah.
right. So we just knock on the door, like, hey, you guys seating? They're like, yeah, like capacity of 10 or whatever it was inside. And they're like, I'm like, how many people are in there now? They're like, nobody. I'm like, oh, perfect. So we went and it was like half priced wine night. And then we just like
Perfect.
got back at like 11 p.m. Just on a whim. It was like, and that's something that's so hard to come by in like
Yeah.
any other like I guess stage of your life. Just like a spontaneous day trip out with your
To
buddies. Yeah,
anywhere,
to
and they could
anywhere.
literally be anything. And like I think about too, there's like one experience that like sticks out, but it was like it happened a bunch. Like I would do it as one of my buddies. We had class together on Mondays, and I think it like goes with what you and Graydon used to do after one of your class, where you'd hang out after. But it was like this guy, he lived in a different house with like all of our other friends, and we finished class Mondays at 5:30, and I would finish class and we would just get on the bus and go to his house, and like his house was past mine, and like go there and just hang out after school. Like I would bring because I would work out before that class, so I'd bring my workout bag and my like school backpack and just go and like throw it on the floor and just hang out with these guys playing video games until like 8 p.m. and then be like, like I gotta eat, and then they'd be like, let's just go to the restaurant down the street. Like, yeah, sure. And like, cause like there's no need, like I don't have to like be home for dinner or anything like that. You just like go and like do everything. So it was like nice. Pretty fun. But yeah, it's just enjoyable. I think the accessibility, even like you're going to go out, if you're going to go and like pre at a friend's house, like me and Hans used to just ride our bikes to like our Josh's house and just like go ride our bike there, bring like a grocery bag full of like 6 to 8 beers, go pre there. And sometimes we'd go to the bar. Sometimes we just end up being like, let's sit here.
Yeah.
Like you just have yourself a night like hanging out. And it was like, there's just so much freedom to do shit. Whereas now I feel like if you're like, I want to go to the bar and that's your original plan and you show up at somebody's house to pre, like you're not really going to change plans and end up just staying there for the most part, especially like being back at home because like, it's like parents there or like other people are coming in and out and you're like, okay, like we got to get out of here and like move on and like go find somewhere else to be because we can't just hang around here and be idiots.
It's like the whole reason I came over was like to go out. Yeah. Not the whole reason I'm coming over is just to hang out with the guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So
then like it's yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's not how I thought the episode would start.
But... Neither did I at all.
Oh my God.
It's pretty funny. Good start though. Just a natural roll to reminiscing about like life and just honestly, I think the biggest thing from this and what was the one thing that we were going to do? Like my takeaway, and it's something that I think both of our dads have said is like, enjoy every day like as it comes. Don't be looking too far ahead into the future. Obviously there's things you need to plan for and you can't completely disregard things that are going to be coming up or things that you have to take advantage of or things that you have to plan for or whatever, but live in every day, live in the moment as it's there because it goes by very, very fast. So like, just take advantage of it while it's here. That's the takeaway. This is like an actual like deep takeaway, but it's like, in all honesty, like just take advantage of it while it's there because it goes by really quickly. And then you're going to find yourself on the other side being like, oh, wow, it's over. So like, don't have any regrets.
Yeah. Don't have any regrets. Live day by day, take things in stride. But I think like for me, especially, well, not especially, but for like people in university and people who are, I guess, working and not a fan of their job, like find themselves like living for the weekend or just like looking forward to the next time where they know they're going to have fun as opposed to just like, I don't know, for example, like you come to school in September and you're like, even in late August, you're looking forward to that like arrival at school. So you're kind of maybe foregoing what's going on in your life late August just to like in anticipation of that early September stretch of being at school with your buddies. And then September, you're like, okay, when is the next thing? You're like looking forward to the like maybe Halloween, planning your Halloween costume, and you're looking so far ahead to the next month that like you may miss out on shit going on in September. So
yeah,
that's just a short example of it. But yeah, man, I think that was our first ever real takeaway segment, I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good one though. Like, yeah. Well, you don't come here to listen to Lads and Launchers to hear like life advice necessarily. But that being said, like if we can give you anything to just take away from this one in our takeaways, like seriously, just be in the moment, enjoy it while it's here because it doesn't last forever. And next thing you know, you're going to be
working full time, paying your own phone bill and
wearing dad
summer
clothes.
Vacation.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I think that's enough of that. That's enough of our takeaway. That actually lasted way longer than I thought. I didn't even know that was where we were going to head with that.
Neither did I, man.
Took a complete turn. But episode 93, we've been doing these every episode, picking two players, who wore the number of the episode and putting them against each other in an interesting competition of sorts. So like at first we were just making them up as we went. And then we started doing stuff from the Olympics and we've been finding things from online of the world's weirdest competitions. So episode 93, we got the World Championship Death Diving Competition. So basically Norway's Det International Dodserforbundet, or International Edods Federation, is a competition that involves folks flinging themselves off a high dive, pulling off a stunt or several, and holding a pose just before smacking the surface, at which point divers attempt to curl up their bodies before striking the water. Dodsing was created in 1972 with the world competition
Don't even try to
established.
pronounce that one.
I'm not going to. The word is so long and like so. I'm just gonna say it. Forget it, Miggy. Verdensmesterskapet.
It's pretty good. Verdensmesterskapet, i.e.
Nice.
Dodds.
Yeah. Or World Championship of Death Diving, was established in 2008. The contest, it's essentially a belly flop competition on steroids, represents the zenith of Dodds Challenge events, which in 2019 spanned June through August, with the World Championships held August 17th. Basically, if you want, like, go on YouTube and search up the World Championship Death Diving, and it's like a legitimate competition. It's like properly broadcasted and filmed and stuff. Like, you can watch them on YouTube. It's pretty entertaining. But like, these guys just, and girls, sorry, they just fly off of high diving board. They run off and they just do like these poses in the air. And you kind of like, because you're doing these poses and stunts in the air, you're in a vulnerable position to hit the water in like a very painful way. So I guess the goal of the competition is to like do these cool tricks in the air and then wrap yourself up in a ball as close to the water as you can. So you have to like curl up and hit the water like without like legit killing yourself before hitting the water.
Yeah, those Scandinavians are nuts, but like I'm just like they're just flying through the air doing whatever, and then like I don't do some people like that and like try to hit like kind of in
they like cup and curl up and and like arch their bodies.
It's crazy though, and they're just fearless. Like these are small cliffs they're jumping off of.
No, it's huge. Yeah, it's really cool though if you want to watch it. But that's our competition for this week. Two great number 93 contestants here. McGee, let's get into it. Our first competitor, he was drafted in the 7th round, 134th overall in the 1982 NHL entry draft by the St. Louis Blues. Throughout his 20-year NHL career, he played for the St. Louis Blues, Calgary Flames, Toronto Maple Leafs, New Jersey Devils, Chicago Blackhawks, Buffalo Sabres, and the Montreal Canadiens. In 1,474 games played, he put together 450 goals and 964 assists for a total of 1,414 points, while also racking up 1,299 penalty minutes, a Canada Cup gold medalist, a Memorial Cup champion, a Selke Trophy winner for Best Defensive Forward, and a Stanley Cup champion, as well as a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame. A 5'10", 176-pound center from Kingston, Ontario, Doug Killer Gilmour. His competitor in the World Death Diving Championship, he was drafted in the 1st round, 16th overall in the 1999 NBA draft by the Chicago Bulls. In a 17-year NBA career, he played for the Chicago Bulls, Los Angeles Lakers, Indiana Pacers, Sacramento Kings, Houston Rockets, and the New York Knicks. In 991 games played, he averaged 13.2 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per game, and 2.7 assists per game. A one-time All-Star, an 03-04 All-NBA player, a one-time Defensive Player of the Year, a 4-time All-Defensive Team player, and a winner of the Larry O'Brien NBA title. A 6'6", 260-pound small forward from Queensbridge, New York, Meta World Peace, a.k.a. Ron Artest, a.k.a. Ron, a.k.a. The Beast, a.k.a. The Panda's Friend.
The Panda's Friend. Man, I like. Okay, this shouldn't be as one-sided as it is, but in my humble opinion, I think it's incredibly one-sided. Okay. I think Doug Gilmour is more agile and can probably do cooler stunts in the air. He's just more nimble as opposed to just a hulking 6'6", 260-pound Meta World Peace.
Yeah,
but I'm going to have to give this one easily to Meta World Peace because although Doug Gilmour is fearless, I think Meta World Peace is just straight up nuts. And I don't think he'd have any fear whatsoever. And he would he would do all the dives without even curling up.
You would just hit the water.
He would just hit the water and then go again and again and just keep going until everybody just got too sore to continue. And he'd just keep on and they'd have no choice but to give him the world championship. He just refuses to go home. That's the kind of guy he is. So I think Meta World Peace takes this one.
Oh man, I was heavily leaning towards Doug, but after because I was thinking Meta World Peace is psycho, but like after you just breaking that down, I think I'm on the Meta World Peace train here as well.
Don't get me wrong, I think Doug Gilmour would be more talented at it,
right?
But I just think
Meta World Peace would outlast him.
Yeah.
Okay, yo, I'm on Meta World Peace on this. I was thinking Doug just because like he's a killer. This
Yeah,
is
he is. He
nickname, man,
is.
killer. But yeah, you're right. He's a nut bar. Meta World Peace is nuts. I'm on board with Meta World Peace here. He's just psycho. Like he would just run off and just flail himself around. And but like the only thing actually, McGee, is that I think you get points for curling up before you hit the water. Like he might not be
Ooh.
able to pull that off because he might just be so out of control. I'm actually kind of starting to talk myself out of this one. I
Oh,
think I might be
wow.
leaning towards Doug
Yeah.
more now after
Well, I
bringing
think
that up.
if you, I don't know, I think he's not a dumb guy. I don't think Meta World Peace is a dumb guy. I think if you explain the rules, he'd like know how to curl up before hitting the water. Like it's not like he would
Mhm.
um just not do it if he had to for
Right.
points. I think I'm sticking with Meta World Peace, but I see what you mean. Like he is a little bit more unpredictable. Um, in I guess
All right.
in,
I'm staying with Meta World Peace. Yeah, I don't know if I can change it. You're kind of just keeping me on board here on your team on Team Meta World Peace.
Team
So
Meta. Yeah,
yeah,
well, like hey, again, no disrespect to Doug, killer. Like and against any other person, probably on planet Earth, he'd probably have this one.
but not Meta World Peace
Not Meta World
or
Peace.
Dennis Rodman.
Oh yeah, that's yeah again, or Dennis Rodman, same kind of thing. Speaking of Meta World Peace, have you
Yeah.
seen that new Netflix show, The Untold Story of like the Malice at the Palace?
No, I have not. Have you watched it?
I watched it. It was incredible. It was really
It's
good.
worth the watch.
Worth the watch for sure. Yeah.
Okay. I
Basically, for those who
maybe I'll
don't
give it a
know,
try.
yeah, give it a try. For those who don't know, it's about kind of like the, I don't know, 2003, 2004, maybe even 2002, like 2002 to 2004 Indiana Pacers, and kind of like the teams that they had drafting like Jermaine O'Neal, who was like just a stud, and then having like Reggie Miller on the hunt for his first and only NBA championship, which unfortunately he never got, and then picking up Meta World Peace and Steven Jackson and just all these like building like a powerhouse team. I think they had the best record in the year, and then they played the new Detroit Pistons in like the conference finals the year before and lost, unfortunately. And then they were back, or they played them the next year in like the early stages, something like in October or something, or September, something like that, early in the year. And
Mhm.
then obviously, like if you know the story, there was a huge brawl between the players and the fans, where like the players like jumped into into the stands, started punching people in the face. Like the fans were coming down on the court trying to like square up and fight players. It was just a whole mess. But then the NBA kind of like um the NBA just banned Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace, or vice versa. They
Yeah.
banned him for like a full season. They banned Jermaine O'Neal for I think 50 some odd games, and they banned Steven Jackson 35 games. Essentially, like ruining any hopes the Indiana Pacers like, almost could have been maybe a dynasty had that not happened. But they
Yeah.
had a team good enough to go to the NBA Finals. Because they like blew out Detroit, the former NBA champions. They blew out Detroit in that first meeting because their team was just that much better than them like the following year. And then they got all these suspensions. Detroit ended up going back to the finals to playing against the Los Angeles Lakers team with like Karl Malone, like Kobe, Gary Payton, and like that kind of older Lakers team. And then I think Detroit won in 5 games or 4 games. So like who would have happened? Like who knows what would have happened?
Yeah.
But all the videos they showed, the whole thing was about how the media kind of demonized the players, like, oh, look at these thugs, these hooligans, like making them out to be villains. Whereas this was kind of shedding light on other camera angles, telling the whole story as opposed to just that one little clip that was
Right.
disseminated through the sports media at that time. And it basically they had these whole I'm not going to spoil anything more for you, but it just like opened your eyes to what it actually was and whether or not the NBA was justified in making the decisions that they did.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll give it a try. I watched the whole like Jordan documentary and I loved that. I'm also just a huge Jordan guy, like we know that. But I love sports documentaries, man. Like ESPN 30 for 30s was my thing. I remember we had like a sport management or a sport marketing class or something in at Crothers, and we used to just like no history of sport. That's what it was. And we used to just watch ESPN 30 for 30s and like learn about all these things that happen and like have to write stuff about the docs. Like
what a course that
history of sport. You just watch 30 for 30s
and write papers on them. Oh my
yeah.
God. People are listening to this being like, what the hell? Like, okay, again, when we say Camp Crothers, we weren't kidding. Like,
Yeah.
watch watch a TV show and then just write a paper on it after. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, like once a week, basically. Yeah. But yeah, like that. I love 30 for 30s. I honestly like would love to be a part of the people who like, no, you know what I really, really want to be a part of is the people who do the 24/7s. Like whether I'm videoing or I'm editing or whatever, like I would want to be a part of the 24/7s. Yeah, well, yeah, playing on the team, yes. But I think that dream is long gone at this point. I'm mostly just hoping to be a part of it in any other kind of video/media way. But like I love 24/7s. That's where I'd want to go with it. And like the NHL Winter Classics and getting ready for those. I love that stuff. That's why I'm so pumped about the Leafs documentary that's coming out. But like I don't even like soccer. And I watched or like I don't dislike soccer, but like it's not my favorite thing, is like I watched Sunderland Till I Die. Thank you. I watched Sunderland Till I Die on Netflix. And I watched like the Man City doc on Amazon Prime. And it's just so captivating because it's like you just get to go behind the scenes and learn like what everything's like in the organization with the coaches, with the players, like how they interact, how they coach each other up and like all this stuff. And it's like, okay, this is really, really cool to see the behind the scenes stuff of this. And like, then I just love the video editing aspect. It's even like the Formula One, right? Like I wasn't into Formula One. And then all of a sudden I started watching the Drive to Survive. And I was like, I love the storylines and taking behind the scenes and the cameras and all that cool stuff. And it's like, just changes it for you. Like you really get to have a different appreciation, even more just because like you understand the teams and the players. You enjoy that. Like, I love that stuff. That being said, I did start watching one that's not a documentary, but it is a really, really good sports show. You recommended it. Ted Lasso. Dude, Ted Lasso is incredible. Incredible. It's so good. I got to.
Are you all caught up? You're done the first season and second. You're caught up. In the second. Wow, that's some serious binge watching.
Binge the whole first season, and then I was watching the second season, and then Friday night, I'm watching along, and then I finished the episode, and I go to hit to play the next episode. And there's no more. And I was like,
August 26th. I was like, no.
Yeah. Because like,
what am I gonna do to my time?
Yeah,
now?
the one that like I watched the last one that I watched that day was just uploaded that day, and I didn't realize. I thought the whole season 2 was out. I'm like devastated. This is one of those shows that I want to go on forever because it's like it's so enjoyable. Jason Sudeikis' character is so good. The way everyone interacts is like. It's honestly the best. It's such an amazing show. I love it.
It's got something.
I think it's like
everything.
Universally loved too.
It is. Like my mom loves it. My dad loves watching it. I love watching it. There's something for everybody. It's funny. It's like you can still got that sports aspect to follow along, and like there's the competitiveness of it. There's just it's cool. It's just a good.
The characters, like the way they interact with each other,
dude, Roy Kent is the best, man.
Yo, Roy Kent is the best. And then one of my other favorite ones, he's just so undercover, is the assistant coach, Beard.
Yes, Beard.
Beard is unreal. He like barely says anything, and he just like nods or like makes noises or like makes these facial expressions. And then
every now and then he'll say something.
He'll just drop in with a line.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then he does he has like his relationships, like his relationships with the girls are so funny, and like his love of chess, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I honestly just love the show. But like some of the stuff, which I don't want to say on here because I don't want to spoil for people that are watching it, but like you got to see if you can predict some of the things, because I was able to predict like one of the things that was going to happen, and it did end up happening, and it's involving Roy Kent. And then the other one I'm still waiting on to see if it's going to happen, but I'm thinking it's going to come up, and it's going to be I think it's involving Ted. So I don't know if you can pick up on what I'm talking about, McGee.
I think talk to me after we're done recording, and we'll brainstorm.
Okay.
So if you haven't watched Ted Lasso, watch it.
Yeah, it's honestly incredible. Like I cannot pump up the tires of this show anymore. It is amazing. I binged the whole thing. I'm completely caught up. Now I'm just waiting for the next episode to come out. And I hope that they keep this thing going for like a long time, because I love this show. It is incredible.
But also there's oftentimes like shows just overstay their welcome, and like they just get lazy with it, and they have them on air just to have them on air, and kind of the writing is slacking, and I don't want them to beat Ted Lasso. Like I don't want them to beat it to death and just kind of like just wring it out like a towel and squeeze it for everything that it's worth, and then
that's fair,
and then just like sacrifice the quality of the show.
Yeah.
So I think if they're gonna like, if they're gonna end it early, just like wrap it up well, and then if it's 5 seasons, or if it's 6 seasons, or less than that, 4 seasons, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. That's fair. I would
Quality
like
over
that too.
quantity.
Yeah. I also just like, I got to just say too, I love the chance that they have. There's like, what are the two that I'm thinking of right now is like the Roy Kent one, where like,
Yeah.
he's here, he's there, he's every fucking Roy Kent.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Jamie Tart, Jamie Tart. It's unreal.
Yeah, that's
and,
a great chant.
And Danny Rojas.
Yeah, Danny Rojas
flying.
is so funny.
Yeah. Incredible show.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I love so I don't know if you caught this one, but they talked about how Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
They bought it. They bought the team. They couldn't tell if it was a joke or not.
Yeah, so they bought in real life. They bought a soccer club, and I was on Twitter the other day, and I saw a letter from the office of Rob McElhenney. I think they're like, I don't know what their company's called, like RR McReynolds.
Yeah.
So they have this like company or like this like firm that owns the team, and they wrote a handwritten or typed whatever from the offices to Ted Lasso and Apple TV and all this professional document, and they're basically just saying like, we don't really appreciate you calling our ownership into question. Like, we're fully behind the program, like whatever. We won't be taking legal action if you send us a box of Ted Lasso's biscuits to our team's offices.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
they definitely did it as a joke. Like, I feel like
100%.
they actually really don't care, but it's
100%.
really funny that happened. But
yeah.
Honestly, Ted Lasso, can't say enough. Like, there's our second takeaway. First one, live in the moment. Second one, watch Ted Lasso.
100%. I agree. I back that. I think it's honestly probably more important than the first takeaway.
Yeah. Okay, McGee. We did this one a couple weeks ago. It's something that we used to do all the time in our first go about with the Lads and Launchers podcast, but it's Mad Libs. I think I'm just going to keep picking some shorter ones. I'm going to try and find some titles that I think are either relevant or funny regarding what's going on in the world and stuff like that. So this one, I'm not going to say what it's called. Let's just roll through these. I already put links in there for you so we can find verbs, nouns, adjectives. We're good to go. I've got mine opened up. We're ready. Let's roll through these pretty quickly here. We'll just brainstorm and pick the best ones for each thing. Right away here, number
93.
Nice. Verb base form.
Let's go with verb base form. Let's go
break.
Learn. Oh, break. Okay.
You want to go? You want? Okay. All right.
No, I think break's good. Or stank.
Is stank base form? Are you on that list there?
I think so.
Okay. Noun plural.
Noun plural.
Leaves.
Leaves is good. Let's do it.
Part of body.
The jejunum.
Oh, jejunum. I like the jejunum.
The weenus. Classic.
A noun.
Let's go with oxen.
Oxen?
Like the plural of ox. Like, because it's just any noun, right? Or does it have to be singular?
I don't think it's plural. I think it's singular.
Okay. How about equipment?
Location.
Ooh.
AFC Richmond.
Yes. What's their stadium called? I forget.
I
like
can't remember.
Nathan's Fieldhouse or something like weird like that.
Part of body.
Again?
Yeah.
Let's go Venus this time.
Okay. I'm making it AFC Richmond Fieldhouse, by the way.
Okay. Cool.
Food.
Um,
Pizza Nova.
Ooh.
A number. 37. I don't know. It just came to my head.
Okay. Okay. That's like the last number I would have thought of.
Plural animal.
Oxen. That worked out really well.
Yes, it did. Adjective.
Let's go with bewildered.
Oh, wow. What a word. All right, ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. How to properly wear a face mask. When you wear a mask, you protect others as well as yourself. Masks work best when everyone wears one. A mask is not a substitute for social distancing. Masks should still be worn in addition to staying at least 93 feet apart, especially when indoors around people who don't stank in their leaves. Masks should completely cover the nose and jejunum and fit snugly. Masks should be worn at any time you are traveling on a plane, bus, equipment, or other form of public transportation traveling into, within, or out of the United States and in U.S. transportation hubs such as airports and the AFC Richmond Fieldhouse. People aged 2 and older should wear masks in public settings and when around people who don't stank on their leaves. Wash your weenus with soap and Pizza Nova for at least 37 seconds or use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol after touching or removing your mask. Masks may not be necessary when you are outside by yourself, away from oxen, or with oxen who live in your household. However, some areas may have mask mandates while out in public, so please check the rules in your local area, such as in your city, county, or state. Additionally, check whether any bewildered masks mandates apply to where you will be going. That's all. How to properly wear a face mask.
That was great. I actually like that was one of my more I enjoyed that one. That was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Make sure you wash your weenus with the Pizza Nova and
soap.
60% and soap
For
nice.
37 seconds. I like the Mad Libs.
It was relevant though. The Mad Libs are funny.
Yeah.
And some of them are just like they work out so perfectly.
Yeah.
It's really surprising.
It is very surprising, especially like the oxen living in your house. Like
I know. We should get like so when you do the editing, we should get like news music over that one, like an important official announcement.
Okay, yeah. I'll work that in. A news announcement over the mask mandate, how to properly wear a face mask.
Just quickly, like I'm not going to make a big thing of this, but speaking of news announcements or like I just got to bring something up here.
Okay.
We recently posted a comment on one of Barstool U's pictures.
Yeah.
It was absolutely like, okay, so it blew up. It blew up and it ended up getting, I think it's at 3,000 likes now. Let me just double check this. But I was just blown away. So just to paint a visual picture for you, the video was of this guy sitting at a bar with like a girl on his lap. And then he was wearing flip-flops. And then this strange woman comes out of nowhere, grabs his lost flip-flop off the floor and places it back on his feet. Yeah. And it's one of those thong flops. So she had to get right in there, like place it in between the toes and everything. On his feet. Yeah. And then she like walks away and then like puts her hands on her face and like surprise, which is just disgusting after where her hands had previously been. But I comment on this picture. I see it and I comment, wearing flip-flops to a bar should be a crime. It's now at 3,152 likes. And I get 58 or 60 people get back to me. And it's kind of split. Not actually, I mean, I guess 3,100 people agree. But these people who don't
as far as
agree,
the comments go,
as far as the comments go, not everybody agrees. Most of the people who comment disagree very strongly. And it's gotten to the point where I've received death threats. I'm now no longer welcome in Australia and or Florida. And I'd like to just point out, though, there's a lot of people going like, oh, Jimmy Buffett would like not like he'd hate this. And so what are you going to do? Wear sneakers to a bar on the beach? Or like, all this stuff about the weather, bringing the weather and beach into this. However, I understand if it's a bar on the beach, you're maybe going to be wearing flip-flops inside. Okay, whatever. That's not the my concern. And then we posted it on our story, and people said that yes, flip-flops to a bar are okay. So I text Josh Goodwin, because he got back. He got back to us and DM'd us. And I said, are you kidding? Like, I can't believe this is okay. And he's like, no, and like flops and socks to a bar all day long. And I'm like, no. That's not where I'm going with this. Like flip-flops, not slides. Flip-flops with no socks to a bar. Can't be okay. If you meant socks and flops, maybe I'll let it slide, but no. And then going back to kind of the argument of the weather that everybody was bringing up, I didn't respond because I didn't want to like get anybody like worked up or angrier than they needed to be. Like, I wasn't really a
People were
serious
already
thing.
going off.
Yeah, people were already telling me to kill myself. So I mean, like, it's whatever. But this video was taken in Pittsburgh. So there's not a bar and there's not a beach in sight. So automatically throw that argument out the window. If it's a beach, I get it. If it's California, West Coast, all this like nonsense, yeah, go for it. Be a hippie, do your thing. Go. First of all, no one wants to see your exposed, stanky feet in a place where you consume food and drink. It's just disgusting. Secondly, Pittsburgh of all places to do this. What the hell, man? It's like it's a steel town. You know, fumes and everything, and you're walking around there with your bare feet out and about. Oh my god. Show some class.
I don't know. I think that like a beach bar, or like if you're in like Florida or California or Australia, like on vacation or something, and like in somewhere warm, it's fine to do it there, and like you wear the flops to the bar, like whatever. But it's like if you're going for like a bar night, I don't think you can just be wearing flops, like especially if you're like in those places. I think if you like go home and get ready and then go to the bar and you like still wearing it, it's like, okay, whatever. It's still not like the ideal situation, but like I think it's okay. But like if you are legit like in Pittsburgh going home, getting ready for a bar night, and you're just gonna rock
your go-to
flops to the bar, like intentionally, like no, you can't do that. I also feel like too, and like maybe I'm wrong in this, but like in Aurora, like let's say I'm in Aurora and like I'm gonna rip out like, and I'm gonna wear flip-flops or slides. Like I strictly just wear slides. Like I don't wear the thong ones. But like if I'm just gonna wear slides, like I don't mind wearing slides to like run into the store or something like that. Like whatever, that's the way it is. But like I feel like at night, flops just like goes out the window. Like you just like once you transition into the nighttime, unless you're at your cottage or something, but if you're like in a regular place, like you're just in Aurora going out, like flops, like you don't wear them once it's like nighttime. Maybe that's just a me thing, but like it kind of just feels like it's like the natural progression of like, okay, now it's this time, don't wear your flops.
Yeah, no flops to shucks.
Yeah. Like if it's lunchtime and you're like out and about and you're wearing it, like I don't mind wearing flops into a restaurant or something like at lunch or like on a patio. But like once it hits nighttime, you're doing it, like you should be wearing shoes out. I don't know. It's just like the way I'm seeing it.
I think, okay, here's my
but I think that I think that goes more for guys than it does for girls. Like girls wear whatever.
Yeah, I agree. With here's my kind of breakdown of what I think is acceptable, what I think is not acceptable. If the bar is like right on the beach and you have to walk through the sand to get there, flops are okay any time of day.
Okay.
If you're in like the Florida or whatever, or you're in a southern like warmer climate, if you're in some warmer climate and it's afternoon and the sun's still up, flip-flops are okay. The moment the sun sets, like you said, you got to wear some closed toe stuff. And then if you're anything north of like the 49th parallel, I think that's you just flip-flops are a no.
Yeah, fair enough. That's our talk on flip-flops. Flip-flops to the bar, that is, I guess.
Well, and I gotta Google the 49th parallel to make sure I use that correctly.
Yeah, I honestly had no idea what you were even talking about. I just let it slide because it sounded cool. It sounded right.
You know how I learned that? I did a case in school where apparently the 49th parallel is where all the Five Guys gets their potatoes from. Five Guys burgers and fries.
Really?
Harvest. I think it's like Iowa, which is like pretty central United States. So I think that makes it makes sense.
I feel like that makes sense because like isn't Iowa like Idaho? And then there's like the Idaho like potato bowl.
The 49th parallel is okay, no, I didn't use that correctly. Wait, hold on. Is there two? The 49th parallel is the border of Canada and the US. Huh. I didn't know that.
Basically you're saying like if you're in Canada, no flops to the bar.
Well, which is I guess kind of where I'm going with that. But even in the States, case. No, let's say anything north of the Carolinas.
Okay.
No flops to the bar.
Fair enough. All right,
Miggy. Again, but that none at nighttime, like nowhere, unless you're on the beach.
Okay.
That's the breakdown. I got to do like a Venn diagram. This is becoming more complicated than I anticipated.
You got to make like a list of legit, like, where is it acceptable to wear this?
One of those
Like,
breakdowns with the arrows, like, is it nighttime? Yes or no? Like,
yes,
no.
you have to do that, like a diagram of like,
Yeah,
okay, is it
okay.
this time? And is it here? Are you there?
Are you south of
Yes.
the
Okay.
49th
No, you can't.
parallel?
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Okay.
just like the first question. Are you south of the 49th parallel? Yes. Okay. And then you go into the other one. If it's like no, then it's like you can't wear flops.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our last segment of this episode 93. Another segment that we have a lot of fun doing here, kind of break down, get to know McGee and I a little bit more, this or that.
This and that, this and that, this and that, this and that. This is a dog, that is a cat. This is a dog, and that is a cat.
All right, McGee, first this or that. This one goes back to kind of that first thing that we were talking about when we got real deep at the beginning of the show here. Travel back in time 5 years or forward in time 1 year.
And I'm assuming that once you make this decision of time travel, either backwards or forwards, you're stuck there and have to.
I think so too. Yeah. I think we make that like the general rule. You don't get to like go there and then come back.
Okay. If that's what it is, I'd rather travel forward 1 year, I think. I don't think I could redo 5 years. I'm happy with the decisions that I've made. I'm happy with kind of where I ended up and where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to change any of that. So if I have to sacrifice a year of the future, I think in the grand scheme of things, 1 year forward isn't that much time. And potentially things will be fully open in a year's time.
Mm-hmm.
So might be a little nice kind of break to not just worry about COVID for a year.
I'm going to go back in time 5 years, and it's almost like with the same mindset, but it just like in the reverse way is like, I wouldn't want to just skip any time. Like I wouldn't want to lose that time of my life and like skip ahead a year. Like I want to enjoy everything while it's here, because like, who knows what's going to happen in this next year and where things will go and what I'll get to experience and what I get to do. And I'm on the same page as you that I wouldn't change anything. Like there's not one single thing I do differently, because like who knows? Yeah, who knows how it alters where you are right now in your current life if you change even like one single thing. Like, when they go back in Family Guy and like, they change like one little thing, and next thing you know, it changes everything for the rest of your life. I wouldn't change a single thing. I would do everything the exact same, because not because like, I'm completely happy with like everything that went down in the last 5 years, more so because I'm extremely happy with where I am right now. So that with that being said, I would just go back in time 5 years just to like live it again and be able to like go through that, like have that experience again and come back now and just like continue on from where I am and continue to live life and just like appreciate and enjoy like what I did over the last 5 years again. I would do it the exact same way, do everything the exact same way, just appreciate that 5 years while you're in it, and then like continue on from where I am right now and like enjoy things as it moves forward. I just wouldn't want to skip that year and lose that time.
You know what? I think just like I swung you with the Ron Artest,
Meta World Peace.
Meta World Peace. Sorry. Yeah, you've definitely swung me on this. I agree. It reminds me of two movies that I've seen in my lifetime. Like one, Click. It reminds me a lot of Click, where he's kind of.
I have to watch that again.
It's a good.
I've seen it, but I have to watch it again. Yeah.
Yeah, really good movie. Where he's like he's gone back in time, and he goes forward, and he wants to skip the shitty parts of his life, and the thing breaks, and all of a sudden he's missed out on his entire life. He just wanted to speed up and get going. And then another one, About Time. Have you seen the movie About Time?
No.
It's kind of it's like a rom-com thing. I think I watched it with my mom, but essentially it's like the men in this particular family have the ability to travel through time.
Okay.
So this guy kind of uses this time traveling ability to get with the girl of his dreams.
Okay.
And then long story short, it all ties back to how he uses it to at the end of the movie. Spoilers, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to watch it because it's old and not that great. But he basically goes back and uses his powers to appreciate each day. Like, so he lives each day twice, once to live it through, then once to go back, even if it's a shitty one, he'll go back and relive it and find the beauty in every day.
Yeah. I think that's like, honestly, and again, like cheesy, but like, I think that's where I'd head with it. Is
It
like,
is cheesy. Yeah.
there's
And
shitty
you've given
days
it
and
to me
there's
for-
shitty times and there's shitty things that happen, but like all of those things, honestly, just like everything happens for a reason. It gets you to where you are today. It got me to where I am today. And all those shitty things that you deal with, like, as long as you have the right mindset, like those things honestly can only better you as a person if you take them the right way. If you take them in stride, if you have the right attitude, the right mindset about it, and you don't get too down on yourself, like don't ride the lows too low. Honestly, in life, I think you should ride the highs as high as you can, because like enjoy that shit while it's here.
Yeah,
But like don't ride the lows too low, because at the end of the day, the sun is going to come up tomorrow. You're going to move on. Like things will work out. Things will figure themselves out. So just go back and just appreciate those days and see what else you can learn from them. I wouldn't change a single thing in the 5 years. There's shitty times and like, I wish they didn't happen. That being said, I wouldn't change them just because they got us to where we are today.
Exactly. Imagine you go back in the 5 years and there's this one point in your life where you just, for the life, you can't remember what you decided. And then you're like, start to sweat and you're like, oh my God, this may like change my whole future.
Everything.
Yeah, no, you've come so far. It's like,
you're like
be
4.5 years in, and it was something that happened like 3 months ago.
I
like,
know.
From now,
yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
you've lived 4.5 years, and you're just like, oh my God, which did I pick? Like, which Pizza Nova topping was it? You're like, can't figure it out. But yeah. So there's that one. Another just deep one for you guys. You want to read this next one?
Yeah, let's do it. Would you rather receive 50 million right now, or $1 for every word you speak for the rest of your life?
Okay, so I already
Yeah,
did this isn't part of the Reddit thing, but I already did the math on this one. So if you were to get that $50 million over 10 years just by talking, you'd have to speak 13,698 words per day to get to the 50 million just in 10 years. If you wanted to do it over 15 years, you'd have to speak 9,132 words per day. I was trying to think about it. I think that I would just do the speaking, because yeah, it would be nice to get to 50 mil right now, but like I'm 20. If I was older, let's say I was like in my 40s, 50s, I would just take the 50 mil and just be like, yeah, give it to me right now. And I could understand how their perspective on it would change. But like for me right now, at 23 years old, I would take the $1 for every word you speak for the rest of your life, because even if I don't hit the mark of like over 15 years getting $50 million, I think I could do it in like 20 to 25, even if I was just like conservatively speaking. But like, I think I would be able to do it in 15. Even if I didn't get hit 50, I'd be close to 50 in 15 years, which like 38 years old and you've got $50 million just from speaking, I'd do it. Like, how many words do you think I've said today on this podcast alone? And like, I've been talking to people all morning already. Like I woke up at a buddy's house, talked to him when I woke up, picked up golf clubs from another buddy's house, talked to him when I picked up the clubs, like went to Starbucks, talked at Starbucks, came home, talked to my parents, came here, talked to you. Like I'm probably close to 10,000 words today already. So like,
I'd say you're higher than that. I'd say you're higher than that, because it says on the interweb, the average man speaks 15,669 words a day on average. So you're already well above average, the average amount someone speaks.
Yeah, I've just been talking all day, and I already know it's 3 p.m. I'm going to be talking more today.
I know you're probably pushing 20,000 words today.
Yeah, perfect. $20,000.
But that being said, if I had to, I'd probably choose the what is it, $1 a word?
Yeah, $1 a word. Okay,
I'd probably choose the $1 a word as well. And then I just become a huge like affirmation guy. I just like wake up in the morning, I am great. I just like talk to myself all day long and get really into affirmations. And I just like, when I'm going to bed at night, like I'm the best sleeper. Like I'm so good at sleep.
You know what it might force you to do as well is just be more social.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you wake up every day and like
you'd find excuses to go out and start conversations with strangers, and who knows, that may be more beneficial in the long run than $1 a day
to your mental health than even just like getting the financial like well-being. Like you're just mentally like talking to people, like always out there, vibrant, talk to yourself. Like you said, self-affirmations.
Yeah.
I would wake up, like I already talk to people on the phone, like every day, whatever, like FaceTiming you, FaceTiming Josh, like FaceTiming Ang in Switzerland, whatever the case is. And like, maybe just do it more or talk for longer. And like, because you're getting money from it. Like that today I've made $20,000 already today.
Yeah. And you would never have to work another day in your life. you would just talk all day. You
But
could
work
make
would
your
help.
profession work would help, but you could make your profession talking, or
Yeah.
you could just work another job and put all of your talking money into a savings account, or just like invest it. Like there's just a
I
lot of
think that's what I would
compound over
do.
time.
Like today, I'd
Um,
take my $20,000 and just put it into like a savings account
but
and then
that
move
being
on.
said, yeah, that being said, though, you could take the 50 million in a chunk and just like throw it away, just like let it just build on itself, and you'd probably end up with more money that way. But I
Potentially. That being
yeah.
said, though, like think about if you take your 20,000 today and I just don't even spend a dollar of it, I just put it in savings. Like today, my $20,000 is starting to make me more money. And then tomorrow, I'm going to talk between 10 to 20,000 words tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I'll grab like another 10 something grand. And then
Yeah.
I'm also working another job. And then I just keep putting it in the bank. That stuff's accumulating. And in 10 years, I'm making the $50 million anyways. And then after that, like, let's say I live until like just 80. Like, let's just say like just 80, like just to give it like a non unreasonable number, but like decently long, whatever. Say I live to 80, I've got like 57 years left. So like, let's say in 10 years, I make $50 million. Another 10 years, another $50 million. Like I've got 5 times 50 million plus the 7. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
I'm rolling.
Big cottage up in Muskoka is just living life.
Exactly. Okay.
Nice.
Do you want to do one final one here? You want to pick this one?
Yeah. Okay. So there's a few others. I'm just going to run through the ones that I don't choose.
Okay.
Because there's a few that I just caught my eye that I want to bring up. If you had to live in a cage for the rest of your life, would you rather the bars be horizontal or vertical?
I think we've done this one before.
I think we might have horizontal because you can climb on them. I think it's
answer. Same page.
Would you rather your food always be too hot, as in you'd never be used to it, like it's always too hot, or have no knees? This one I just thought was ridiculous, so I had to include it. I'm not going to answer this one. I think it's easy. Like I don't care if I want to have knees.
Yeah, same page. If
I have to put up with hot food, that's okay. So be it.
Yeah.
But the main one that I want to get into is: would you rather have an obsessive person love you or hate you?
I'm going to say love you because like it would be very annoying. But that being said, like I don't think you have to look over your shoulder all the time. Like if they hate you, you don't know what they're capable of, like what they could get up to. Like it says an obsessive person, like this person could just like go nuts, like trying to destroy every part of your life. Whereas the person who loves you is like, no matter what, they're going to try to like make you happy, I guess, or like show affection.
Oh my God.
Bless you.
Thank you. Oh, thanks. I don't know. That's a tough one because I think sometimes I think love is stronger than hate. So I think if an obsessive person loved me, it would almost be uncomfortable. To the point where I think someone who obsessively hated me wouldn't. They could just do so on their own time and be less inclined to like follow me everywhere. But I think the person who loved me and was obsessed with me would like come to my house and look in my window and like follow me everywhere and send me like things in the mail, and it would be really like weird.
That's fair. But I think though, like if they love you and they do this stuff, like they're not going to harm you. They could.
Imagine they just
like, but like they love
you,
like
of your hair, so they just have
yeah,
it with
fair.
them at all times. Like
fair. But like they're not like they love you, like they're not going to try to like ruin your life. Like they're like it may ruin your life, but it's not going to be because they're trying to. Whereas the person who hates you, like they could just be literally trying to ruin your life.
I just think of that clip from Billy Madison, where that one guy, Steve Buscemi's character, has like a people to kill list, and it's all the people who's done him wrong, and then Billy Madison calls him to apologize, and as he's like this weirdo is just like putting on makeup, like getting ready to like to kill Billy Madison, and he calls to apologize, and he's like, thanks, that means a lot, and just scratches his name off the kill list.
Yeah. So like that's the thing. Like you're gonna have some insane person like going nuts, like behind the scenes. You always got to look over your shoulder. Whereas like the person who loves you, like you just know they're obsessing over you. And like,
it would be. I don't think there's a right answer to this.
It's always either way. It's uncomfortable. Horrible. Yeah.
Way,
I would just rather the love than like the hate, because the hate is gonna be out to get you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right. I think that about does it for episode 93, McGee. This one's been a good one.
This has been a good one.
Good competition. We got really deep into things. We got some takeaways. So right off the bat here, live in the moment. Just enjoy everything. Be present, and don't take for granted like each and every day. As even if you look at the day and you're like, wow, I don't have anything planned. Like this is gonna be a boring day. Like just enjoy it. Like enjoy the opportunity to do nothing. Enjoy the opportunity to hang out. Like because you don't have this forever. Especially like if you're in school and stuff and you're like, oh wow, tomorrow's boring. Like we're not doing anything or we're not going to the bar. Enjoy the time that you have like spending with your roommates and sitting around, hanging out, sitting on the couch, watching TV. Like that stuff, it doesn't last forever. So enjoy that stuff. Takeaway number 2, watch Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, incredible show. It is like therapeutic almost. It's so enjoyable. Ted's positivity is hilarious. His jokes that he makes, I love them. They're so dumb, but like, yeah, I love it so much. What other takeaways do we got here, McGee?
I think that's about it. And just to expand
flops to the bar.
Oh, flops to the bar. Don't do it unless
don't wear flops
you're north
to
of the unless you're south of the Carolinas and it's daytime or you're on a beach.
Yeah. Oh, and last thing, make sure you wash your weenus with soap and Pizza Nova for 37 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all the takeaways I've got.
Yeah. I think it was a great episode. I had a blast recording that one. A few things coming up. One's kind of they're both kind of secrets, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But I will say, if you want to find out, catch us next week, same time, same place, same lawn chairs. Cheers, lads.
And ladettes.
And ladettes.